What's up, fans of MMA on YouTube? Here to do my UFC 103 predictions. Didn't do a prediction video for fight night, just didn't find the time. Yeah, the card didn't excite me anyways, but it was a good card. Jump right into it here. A lot of good fights on this card. I think it's one of the better cards we've had in a while. So, anyways, first fight of the night is Tyson Griffin versus Hermes Franca. Big Hermes Franca fan. Tyson Griffin, I'm a fan of him too, but I see this fight going, with Tyson Griffin has great wrestling. Hermes Franca, I think, is the better striker. He does have jiu-jitsu though. I don't think they'll be finishing this fight. I don't see Franca knocking out or submitting Tyson Griffin. I think Griffin's very, very powerful, and I think Tyson Griffin will approach this fight as Sean Shirk approached his fight with Hermes Franca. Shirk just kind of held him down, but I think Tyson Griffin will go to try and avoid the boxing. As I said, I think Franca's got the better boxing. I think Tyson Griffin holds him down, ground and pounds, works past the guard. I don't think he'll finish Franca. I think that it'd go to a decision. He's got to be careful in the shot, though. As we saw in the Shirk fight, Franca did catch Shirk with a couple knees. But all in all, in this fight, I'm going to take Tyson Griffin by unanimous decision. Next fight of the night is Frank Trigg, one of my favorites. He's returning. I'm really happy about that against another one of my favorites, Josh Koscheck. I think he's the most constantly improving fighter, or one of them at least. His stand-up has got really well. Wrestling always dangerous, very, very, very powerful. I think he'll want to avoid once again Trigg's boxing in this fight. I think Trigg would eat him alive, pick him apart on the feet. As much as Koscheck's striking has improved, that's not taking anything away with him. I think Koscheck needs to work for that takedown and get him to the ground, pass the guard, work some ground and pound, and not to be an asshole or make a joke or anything, but I think Koscheck takes him down, works some ground and pound. Trigg he gets the mat. Trigg turns over on his stomach, and I think Koscheck takes this by a second round rear naked choke. Yeah. Martin Kampmann versus Paul Daly. Pretty upset that Mike Swick got injured for this fight. I love Martin Kampmann. I love Mike Swick. Paul Daly, don't really pay attention to the guy. Not bad fighter though. Kampmann Swick, that was, had all the implications for, a shot at 170 for the belt, but, I don't know, kind of lost some hype for this fight, not taking anything away from Paul Daly. I think, Martin Kampmann, gets the knockout in the third. I think Kampmann's boxing's better, his more crisp striking. I think he'll just outclass Paul Daly in this fight, and he'll get a second round knockout. Or TKO. Strikes. He'll finish by strikes. Moving up to the co-main event, which is Mirko Cro Cop versus Junior Dos Santos. Junior Dos Santos knocking people out. Cro Cop's last win controversial over, in the UFC against Mustafa El Turk. And this fight really comes down to what Cro Cop, shows up again. We've seen in Pride, he was a scary guy. He was knocking everybody out, just destroying them. Destroyed Vanderlei Silva, Josh Barnett to win the Openweight Grand Prix. He's got that high kick, great hands. He's a great, crisp, accurate striker. Junior Dos Santos seems more of a brawler to me. But this will definitely see, if Junior Dos Santos is the real deal, because you know what, Gabriel Gonzaga wasn't supposed to be Cro Cop either. So we'll see how what Cro Cop has come in with and how he's prepared. Being back in the UFC, I think he wants that belt. Jump in the rankings there with Nogueira and see what happens there. I'm sure he'd like to fight Nogueira again and avenge his loss from years back. I think Crow Cop might be in danger of being, having this turned into, a brawl and not a slugfest if Dos Santos comes at him, which I think he will come at him. But I see Mirko staying composed and maybe backing up a little bit to pick his shot, and I think he will land that shot, whether it be punches or a head kick or anything. And I think that this one ends quick. I think this one goes to Mirko in the first round. But Dos Santos, Mirko's chin has been tested and it is suspect. So we'll see. But I will pick Mirko Crow Cop to take it in the first round in an absolute slugfest. So that's my pick. Now, when I got into MMA and didn't know much about it and didn't know anybody, and I was a little boy when I got into it, because all the kids were watching wrestling and I was watching Ultimate Fighting. But Vitor Belfort was one of the first fighters, along with Randy, that I remember seeing, and I remember watching their first fight, and even though Vitor lost, I loved him. I saw the videos of, his hand speed, his destructions of, Tank Abbott, Scott Ferroso, Vanderlei Silva, Trey Telligman, and he went on a skid there. He lost, he lost to Tito and Randy, and then he went on a skid with losing to Alistar twice, and as of late though, he had that vicious knockout of Matt Lindland. Vitor, always dangerous hands, very fast, a lot of heart. He's got the knees. Jiu-jitsu, we saw against his rubber match with Randy, a little bit of a half-ass attempt to morally just to keep you in the guard. I really haven't seen his submission skills. Rich Franklin, what do I need to say about this guy? If you've watched this guy fight, you know what he's all about. Great clinch, striking, wrestling, takedown defense. This guy, pinpoint accuracy with knockout power. It's gonna be an interesting fight. Being a little biased, though, being one of all my all-time favorites, not taking anything away from Rich Franklin, gonna have to go with Vitor Belfort in this fight, since his vicious knockout of Matt Lindland. You heard it here first. I think Vitor. I think this is one of those fights where they just come out, they measure each other up, they throw a few shots at each other, and then I think Vitor just goes, finds his opening, and he TKOs Rich really quick. I'm gonna say Vitor within the first 3 minutes of the first round by striking, and that's just a wild guess, but it's just what I feel. Not taking anything away from Rich. So there you have it. Those are my 103 predictions. Leave comments, positive, negative, whatever, don't care. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you to all my subscribers and friends, as usual, who have stayed on this page. Be sure to check out my other friends' videos who do pretty good. The Miz, which is Mark, Byron Giant, Hatrick Hockey 17, which is Chase. He probably does my favorite MMA videos. On that note, have a good day, enjoy the fight, and tune in for the review as soon as the card is done, probably the next day though. Alright guys, take care.